In this video, I travel the world cooking some of the wildest animals on the planet. From my home state to remote islands in Asia, I've eaten things most people would never even touch. Each animal is going to get more and more extreme, and by the end of this, I'm going to be cooking the biggest crustacean I could get my hands on. But first, I'll be cooking
the Mekong catfish.
It's the largest freshwater fish in the world with a maximum weight of over 770 pounds.
Not only are we gonna be cooking the biggest freshwater fish in the world, but we're also gonna be donating it to people in need because this is well over 500 pounds of meat.
We just got to the filming location and they're unwrapping this catfish.
This outdoor kitchen is in the middle of Thailand, where everything around us is a potential ingredient.
The biggest difficulty we're facing right now is that not a single person here speaks fluent English. There is a massive language barrier. My friends, what's next? What is next?
Defrost.
Defrost, okay.
This catfish species is rare and hard to get, so if we're gonna cook it, we're gonna need some help. I'm here with the only gentleman that speaks English. His name is Thumb, and he's the guy that invited me out here. Obviously, I can't communicate with any of the crew over here.
First of all, I don't think this has ever been done before. Ever. Nobody has ever attempted to cook one this size whole. This will be my first time, and your first time, and all our first times.
There are a series of steps we need to make in order to feed everybody. With the first step being to lift this fish off the truck, I started to get nervous. I've never lifted anything this heavy before. We also have to put a human-sized steak into the fish and lower it into a fiery pit for it to cook.
Okay, I'm
freaking out right now. 1,
2, 3.
That is wild. That is so... Oh my goodness, man. Now that the first step is complete, it's time to attempt to kebab this catfish.
The biggest concern with this is that the steak isn't gonna be able to hold the catfish, right? Do I understand that correctly?
Yes. We'll find out.
The reason the fish may be too heavy for the steak is because it was welded this morning. Here's how we made it. Wood, car battery, amateur welder. On our first attempt to kebab this catfish, we realized most of the meat was frozen solid, making it completely impossible to hammer through. So to combat this, we have a hose running through it. This should make it thaw out a lot faster.
Oh, look, it's out here now.
What is actually holding on this steak? Because the middle of this is hollow, right? It's gutted. So the only part of it that's really on the steak is his mouth.
I think they've got it through the bones as well.
Really? Okay.
The sketchiest part of this mission is attempting to stand this fish up, because if the steak breaks, we're back to square one.
Now, the thing we were most afraid of actually just happened. The steak on the bottom of this broke. So the only thing holding up this 600-pound catfish is me and Thumb.
We tried to get the steak out, but it wouldn't budge, so it's coming along for the ride. All right, so that first attempt it didn't work.
No, it did not work. It did not work.
So what is the plan now?
My team's over there. They're welding 4 metal poles onto the same metal platform that we were using earlier instead of the steak. We're going to try to put that around the catfish.
How confident are we that this is about to work? Realistically, if you were a betting man, your life is on the line. What are the odds that this works?
I mean,
I wouldn't put my life on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my life on it. I don't know. I'm staying optimistic. I'm staying optimistic too.
I think it's gonna go good.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I only believe in speaking good energy into the universe. However, I'll tell you right now, I feel like I could rip one of these poles right off.
Here we go. It tipped. Yeah!
It's looking good. It's looking really good. All my pessimism, ridiculous. I don't even know why I was talking like that. That crazy nonsense. They're connecting the pulley system right now, and we're gonna see if it's able to hold or not. Oh, this is scary, man. This is like, if this thing goes in any direction, we could break a lot of bones.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
3, 2, 1. Okay.
1, 2.
Yeah! That's it, we're good.
The fish is as close as we could get it to the pit, so now the next step is we're gonna start to score it on every side so that the heat gets in the middle, and then we're gonna salt it?
Yes.
What does the salting it do, just flavor?
Well, I mean, adding flavor, but also just rendering the fat out and rendering some of the water content out so the fish cooks faster.
Okay.
The flavors intensify. So, just like salt and cooking.
So we just got to get to rubbing at this point.
Correct.
The pit behind the Catfish is 10 feet deep and has been heated with hot coals for the last 8 hours. There is also a motor feeding a supply of fresh oxygen to the bottom of the pit, making it really hot.
Come on, more muscle, Nick, more muscle.
This really is a dense fish, like no BS. It's hard to cut through a little bit. All of these holes are gonna make it so that the heat really gets inside the freshwater catfish. The fat just starts dripping out of every score.
The goal is to have a score every 4 inches so the protein is able to be evenly salted. With enough sodium, the fish will lose several pounds of excess water, decreasing the cooking time by over 6 hours.
So right now we're looking at this fish and the fat content is over 1 inch thick. What we're expecting is for that fat to melt.
But it's gonna start dripping, it's gonna set the whole thing ablaze.
Oh, no way, no way. This thing is gonna have a lot of flavor in it.
It's finally time to put this catfish in the pit, which is a good thing because we're exhausted from carrying it.
Are you okay? The rope just completely snapped. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's entirely my fault. The plan is to retie the pulley system and hopefully it will be able to hold. Now that there's an inconsistency in the rope, it might be a little bit tougher, but this is our only option at this point.
3, 2, 1, bite!
It just landed right on his foot. Oh my goodness. This is bad. This is bad.
So what happened just now was there was too much people on this side when we lift, and the rope was restraining the movement. The whole thing dumped that way, and that's how he got crushed.
Bro, his toe is disintegrated. That was wild.
With the day coming to an end, we still have all this meat we can't afford to go to waste. If we don't get it cooked fast, it could begin to spoil.
We're gonna adapt. The whole point of this video is to cook this fish and make sure it gets to people in need. We're lucky enough to where Thumb owns a restaurant that's quite literally 3 minutes away from here. It's the right thing to do to load it into the truck and cook it correctly.
With the priority shifted to feeding these kids,
We got to work breaking down this fish. Usually you'd fillet an entire side whole, but because of the size of it, it has been broken down into several sections of its body. While that was underway, I was making my way to the hospital to go check on Book.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, he's in good hands.
If not, he's about to be.
Yeah.
While we were worried about how Book was doing, Thumb's restaurant was focused on making over 500 pounds of chili paste. We finally got some good news.
How you doing, my friend? Did it hurt? No. It didn't hurt? No way. No, a little bit? Just a little? How many stitches did you get? 5 stitches?
The worst part of the experience for him is he's scared of needles. So he wasn't even in pain. He was like, oh, I got a stitch up. Oh my gosh, I'm scared of needles. The doctor said, he'll be better in 2 weeks.
I'm glad you're okay.
I'll be going now.
Swear to God.
Not only was Book feeling better, but all the food was finally finished for all of these people.
we invited all ages and passed out over 500 containers to whoever said they were hungry. And now it's time to head to Hawaii to cook something truly special.
In my hand right now is a 7-pound Maine lobster. Now, when I tell you, I went all over the city to find this guy. I am not exaggerating. Some of the coolest things about the Maine lobsters is that they have a pincher and a crusher claw. When you're looking at the crusher claw, it is definitely a lot bigger, and you'll notice that they don't have spikes specifically on the claw area. They use this claw to munch through coral, crustaceans, anything they're trying to eat. This is pretty much the muscle on them. Now, if you look at the other claw, we're looking at the pincher claw. You'll notice it's a lot sharper in several places. If you get your finger caught in the pincher claw, it's almost guaranteed to come clean off, especially on a lobster this big. Another really cool fact about these guys is that they have claws all along their little legs right over here. I have never actually tested how hard they pinch, so I'm gonna put my pinky in the middle of one. Guys, wish me luck. How bad? You think it's gonna hurt real bad? It doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt. What about the bigger one? That hurts. That hurts a lot. Get off me. Some other really unique things about this lobster is that it has a horn in the front of its face. This is a very sharp horn. You'll notice most shrimp and prawns have this feature. This is mainly for defense. And then if you flip them over, you're gonna find something called its swimmer and swimmerettes. Swimmer and swimmerettes are pretty much what this thing is using to glide through the water in between its little bursts that's like going real fast. And then if you look towards where its abdomen and tail connect, it is a boy if it has these two little things. They kind of look like a penis, but a female does not have this. Because I'm such a believer of fair fights, I'm gonna go ahead and give this lobster a knife. Because it's not fair if I have one and he doesn't, right? Here, we'll put it in his stronger claw, his crusher claw. There we go. Dude, no, bro. Imagine that. That could be your finger or your bone. It'd be done for. Another really crazy thing about these is that all lobsters have kind of like a reflex of when to close their claws. Even if a lobster is dead, it still has this reflex. I've noticed it works best in the pincher claws. All it needs is the slightest bit of pressure. Check this out. It pinches every time. They don't even have to be conscious that they're pinching you. It's a reaction. It's all instinct. I personally don't believe these lobsters feel pain. Everyone's always like, Nick, why do they feel pain? Of course they feel pain. They don't. I don't think they do. Reason being, I've been on several different commercial lobster fishing boats. I will see these guys rip their entire claws off before they even let go of the cage. Their reaction afterwards is completely normal. They're not freaking out or anything. What you're gonna do is get a nice little object right here. What you're gonna be looking for is a little bulb on the back of his head, and that's where your entry point is gonna be. So you're gonna put your knife right there, and then you're just gonna hit it in through the top, and before you know it, your lobster will be out. Make sure you have a sharp knife. Ah. That is all just nerves. I swear he's not alive anymore. I don't care what you guys, but you know what, to be sure. Yeah, no, he's definitely out. Now the hardest part of every single video I make, whether it's on here, any platform, is fitting the seafood into the pot. It's illogical. So we're gonna start by, oh, we should actually start by boiling water. Dude, this lobster is so big, it like doesn't even make sense to handle. Dude, no way. I swear it's nerves. I swear it's the nerves. That was a lot for nerves though. I wonder why he's doing that. Are we sure this thing is dead? I'm pretty confident it is. Moment of truth, am I able to twist this lobster in half? It's never a yes. Ugh. Ow, ow, it's closing on me. Ugh. Maybe if I switch hands, maybe my right hand is stronger and like this is like, okay, you know what, it's not happening. All right, so once you catch your breath, because not gonna lie, I'm gassed, you're gonna take a knife and you're gonna cut the part that separates his body from his tail. So you're gonna put your knife in his shell like this. Pretty much just gonna go around and what you're doing is separating the tail from his body. Oh, wait. Moment of truth. Does the lobster fit in the pot? The answer is always no, but I'm always optimistic. Okay, so we're gonna start with the tiny claw, and by tiny, I mean bigger than my head. And then we're gonna start with this freaking behemoth, massive. Oh, dude, this is the whole pot. Where does the rest of the lobster go right now? I mean, this is ridiculous, but we're gonna try. Okay, so I think this is just what we're gonna have to run with. That fits. People are gonna say it doesn't fit, but it fits. It's actually so interesting because like as the water is heating up, you can see certain parts of his body is having different reactions. And it's not like he's alive or anything, it's just his body. It's just like, ah. Depending on the size of the lobster, you're gonna have to boil them for different amounts of time. When you're boiling a 1 pound lobster, you're only doing like 7 minutes. But because this lobster is 7 pounds, we're gonna have to go all the way for 30 minutes. So we're just gonna leave this guy in here. Hopefully he doesn't escape. I feel like he's moving a little bit, but he'll be fine. Perfect. What a lot of people don't know is that crustaceans have blood in them. Obviously, like to the normal person, it doesn't look like this is covered in blood, right? It's not red, it's not vibrant. This is crustacean blood right here. It's like very liquidy and mucousy. After I put a lobster in the pot, I always get paranoid that it's not really boiling. So how I test it is I'll put my finger in there. It's for sure boiling.
A few moments later.
So foolishly, thought I could go edit a video in the other room. The water was super full. I walk out of my room, I hear a slow trickle. The whole house reeks like lobster. It has been over boiling for the last 20 minutes. You guys see this? The reek right now is intense. I feel like a Final Destination moment's about to happen, and like as I'm under this, just totally crushed me. Ow. You think I got everything? Someone turned off the freaking stove during that fiasco. So here's what we're gonna do. I don't have a plate big enough for this thing either. I am just fully unprepared in every way, really. I got it. I don't know why I like doing this so much. Number 1, 2 tongs. Oh, dude, look at this freaking thing. Bro, that is crazy looking. Dude, even on a serving tray, it like hardly fits. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm proud. That is the feeling I have right now. Proudness in myself. This is crazy. So usually it's like so freaking hot in this kitchen. So I do all my mukbangs in my room. Let's go. Now it's so slippery from all the like lobsters and stuff. And his claws are so hot, man. This whole lobster is so freaking hot. I can feel like the steam coming off of this thing. I bet you it's gonna be fire though. I'm very excited about this crusher claw. Leave these chambers as I must be alone to eat my lobster. Close the door. Now it is just us. All right. Let's get right into it. First solid bite. So far. That hurt a lot. Ow. Bro. I actually don't know what to do right now. That was how I was gonna eat my lobster.
And because that was a fail, I'll be cooking 3 massive Maine lobsters later in this video. But now it's time to head to Asia to cook and eat one of nature's most vicious animals.
Right in front of us is a freshwater crocodile. Now the things that make this thing so unique. A, it's only indigenous to Southeast Asia. So think Thailand, Vietnam, Bosnia. Right off the bat when you're looking at it, you probably noticed that the leather is only on certain parts of the animal. That's because the leather trade for crocodiles is so big here in Thailand. Before they sell it for the meat, they harvest all of the leather off of it, and usually it's sectioned into much smaller pieces, but you know me, I just bought the whole crocodile. Most of them get to about 6 to 10 feet, but the really big males could get up to 13 feet and 770 pounds. Even though the males get so large, you usually don't see them attacking humans. The reason for that is because they usually just eat fish, snakes, amphibians, sometimes like a small mammal here or there. However, there is one recorded death of this thing actually attacking and eating a child. It is a small mammal if it's a child, so you can't even really blame them. I've been trying to open this thing's mouth for the longest time. First I tried fire, after that I tried thawing it with hot water. It got to the point where I chipped a tooth and almost hit my eye with the tooth fragment. So you see this giant jaw muscle right here, it has a bite force of over 1,000 pounds. Even after this thing is dead, you can't even open its mouth. It's literally impossible. A freshwater crocodile lays anywhere between 15 to 50 eggs depending on how big the croc is. They'll lay their eggs in like a little mud mound. And then after that, they're gonna stick around all the way until they're hatched. Sometimes people see the crocs have babies in their mouth and they're like, oh my God, they're eating the babies. No, this is just like the safest method of transport because so many other snakes and birds will eat the baby crocodiles. Aside from our one little child that got eaten, there have been a total of 4 other cases of people getting attacked. Every single one of those attacks were because they were guarding their mounds. As long as you don't impede on these guys' territory, and especially their babies, you should be good. You should be able to coexist. Now for the heartbreaking fact about these guys. They're critically endangered. I know, you're looking at me like I'm a horrible human being. They're only critically endangered in the wild. In captivity, there are about 700,000 of them, and people just completely breed them. They're a massive part of Thailand's trade. Crocodile meat is very popular here. 99% of their habitat in the wild has been completely destroyed just by capitalism. Oh wait, are we in a communist country? 99% of their original habitat is completely gone just because cities have been built on all their rivers, swamps, and lakes. Luckily, there's still hope for these guys in the wild because there are several places like Cambodia, for instance. They have completely outlawed it to capture, sell, or trade. Even transporting it is illegal. On top of that, there are several breeding programs in place in hopes that these things will soon flourish once again. Now, when you're looking at the meat of this thing, you have to think to yourself, does every part of this taste the same? And the answer is no. It's kind of like a cow. You know how a cow has filet mignon, New York strip, prime rib? An alligator is the same way. All of this meat is going to be cut very differently and taste differently because of it. Up first, we have the tail. This is going to be the most prized part of any crocodile or alligator species. You could do so much with this, but we're going to be making a crocodile tail steak out of this. Now onto the legs. You see the back legs are much larger and they also have webbed feet. This is because they pretty much use the back part of their body completely to swim and the front part are like little dinosaur arms. My guess is that the tiny arms in the front are going to be a lot more tender because they're not really utilized as much. We're going to be making crocodile carbonara out of that. I'm super excited about that one. And then the last cut we're going to be trying is the rib of the crocodile. Now the ribs are particularly tender, and for that I'm thinking we're going to slice them up real thin and kind of put them on nachos. I got all these weird Lay's chips flavors because we're in Thailand right now. I'm talking hot chili squid, crab curry, nori seaweed. We're just going to make a whole plethora of them and see what we could do. You need to make sure you cut around the meaty areas all the way down to the bone on every side of that meat. After that, you're going to take a super large knife, something big, you know, and you're gonna chop just right through the bone. As you see right now, I'm going all the way so that only the bone is what's connecting this crocodile's leg to its body. Now we have to try to snap the leg off. Oh! Let's go. And it looks amazing, honestly. It reminds me a lot of the iguanas that I've eaten. Oh wait, I just realized we're supposed to cook the front leg, not the back leg. Ugh, why is it so hard? Crocodile's giving me an asthma attack. We need to do the same thing to the tail. The only problem is that the tail is a lot meatier and has a much bigger bone. Because we want a steak, we want it to be relatively even on every side. I knew this giant knife would come in handy. This is an experience, guys, let me tell you. So what you're seeing, most of this is bone, but this little gooey part right over here, this is bone marrow. Beautiful, beautiful, okay. Absolutely gorgeous. You see it has a nice thick piece of bone marrow in the middle. It's gonna melt like butter into the meat. Last up, we need to get the ribs off the thing because I want my nachos. My thought process right now is I'm gonna go in between the ribs and get like 3 sections of ribs. This is crazy, guys. It's time to cut through bone again. See, that's the strategy, okay? You need to crush the bones with this thing, and then after they're all crushed, you could go in and like serrate it. Look at that, I'm slowly becoming a crocodile cooking pro. Something that's very important to me is that I really taste the crocodile, right? I don't want too many seasonings to overpower this so I can truly get a taste. Because of that, we're just gonna go with salt and pepper for the steak. I've never had bone marrow, so the fact that crocodile bone marrow is the first that I'm gonna try, I'm very excited about. For the steak, we wanna make sure we use a lot of butter. More butter means more flavor. We know what we're doing with this. Big old dollop, and it goes. Ow! That was... Oh my God. Whenever you're cooking a meat, you wanna make sure your pan is searing hot so that right when you put the steak on, it starts sizzling like perfection. As it's cooking, you wanna make sure you baste your meat with the butter. It's gonna give it an amazing taste. You don't wanna cook your crocodile too much. You kinda wanna have it sashimi style. So just give it a nice sear on that side and then you're ready to flip. It kinda reminds me of a fish vibe in a way, mainly because it has that super white meat. You're gonna go right back to basting it as soon as you're able to. We're only doing about 2 minutes on each side so that we can really taste the crocodile and not the heat from the stove. Once your crocodile is fully cooked, you're gonna take it off the stove, and that is a perfect crocodile steak right there. Gordon Ramsay would say so himself. Now for the crocodile carbonara, we need to make sure we get the meat off the bone clean. That way it could actually cook with the sauce that we're making. This is the meat we're gonna be using for the crocodile carbonara. We're just gonna go ahead and lightly put it into the sauce so that the sauce gets the taste of the crocodile and will spread throughout every piece of pasta. Feel free to lightly season this. Crocodile carbonara starts very similar but ends so differently. While your butter is melting, you're gonna go ahead and start boiling pasta. Make sure your pasta water is nice and salty. We're just gonna have a low heat on this because it's actually gonna finish cooking in the sauce. When it starts to get white on the underside, that's how you know it's ready to flip. So we're just gonna put this carbonara right in and we're gonna let the crocodile flavor get absorbed. You can't tell me this doesn't look good right now. Should we try a little flip? Oh! Ow! Burned myself so bad! Once your water is at a rolling boil, you're gonna put your pasta in. We're gonna take a serving of the pasta that we just boiled and put it right on into the crocodile carbonara. Make sure everything is mixed real good. You want the flavors to really melt into each other. Low key, guys, I'm getting good at this. Look, I'm not even looking. I'm not even looking right now. And just like that, we have a beautiful crocodile carbonara. For the crocodile nachos, it's important that you don't actually get the whole ribs in there, right? So you wanna make sure you cut in between the individual ribs. Butter in the pan. Oh! Maybe we should move the entire crocodile away from the open flame. Once the chopped meat is in the pan, it should cook pretty quickly because it's such small pieces. Get your favorite brand of chips. Mine are hot chili squid. Oh! Of course. Of freaking course. It smells horrid. It smells terrible. We're gonna taste them in the order that we cooked them, starting with the crocodile steak. Most things in freshwater don't really have that salty taste, so I'm very curious to get into this. We're gonna cut right into it. Wow, that looks a lot like fish. This right here is the bone marrow, so we're gonna get some of the bone marrow out. Moment of truth, how does it taste? The crocodile steak first. Wow, it tastes like a normal steak. Definitely taste the butter char on it. Very, very tender, incredibly tender. You see on the inside, it doesn't really look like a normal steak. It's very comparable to tuna. It's like one of those meats that really adapts to the seasonings and the way that you cook it. And with salt, pepper, and butter, like, you can't go wrong. It's delicious. Now, it's time for crocodile carbonara. I'm Italian, so I have the pass to tell you whether this is really good or not. Take a few pieces of pasta and a big old piece of crocodile. Oh, that is so awful. That carbonara has so much like mushroom flavor and I like mushroom. The last dish is crocodile nachos. I'll be honest with you guys, I thought I had cheese. It turns out I don't. No cheese for me. It's really just squid chips and crocodile. Those squid chips were terrible. That's 2 out of 3 fails.
Now that I've cooked an animal that looks like a dinosaur, it's time for me to cook something that is actually prehistoric.
In my hand right now is the oldest living animal in the entire world. It predates the dinosaurs over 400 million years. The first thing you notice when handling them is that they're covered in spikes all over their body. And then you see its actual tail is serrated with spikes throughout it. But as you start to pick them up, you see that there are tiny little baby spikes all along its shell. This was the inspiration for one of my favorite Pokemon, Kabutops. When you take a look at the bottom, you see it looks almost identical to a tarantula, specifically in the middle. At the front of its face on the bottom part of its shell, you see it has this spike. You might be wondering, yo, what's this for? Because these guys are in the ocean, they're constantly getting sloshed around by the current. So when they're laying flat, they anchor down into the sand, and this makes it so that they're not able to move. A common misconception with the horseshoe crab is that it's gonna sting you kind of like how a scorpion will, and I see why you would think that. The reality though is that the back part of this spine is only used to flip itself over once it goes upside down. So whenever the current flips this animal over, it uses its tail to propel itself back forward. As these guys cross the ocean floor, they're very close to the sand. You hardly even notice them. A lot of times people step on them and they'll cut their foot open and they'll think they just got stabbed. In reality, they just stepped on one of the very sharp spikes anywhere along this thing's body. Take note of how the eyes are kind of just like plastered onto the shell. Very unique, and on top of that, the eyes are very hard. Most animal eyes are like soft, like gelatin. The front of its body is called the carapace. This is what's gonna go through the ocean current and kind of be extremely aerodynamic through the currents. The back of the body is called the thorax, and that's because it's closely related to scorpions and spiders. The horseshoe crab hasn't evolved in over 200 million years, so if you're looking way back at fossil records, this is exactly what they look like. When looking at the bottom of this thing, you notice that it has claws all along its feet. These are to make sure that they're able to anchor themselves to the floor even more, because when they're upside down, obviously they're vulnerable. Now, even though they have 6 pairs of legs, only 5 of them are for walking. These front 2 legs are only used for eating. And right now, as you're looking at this thing, I challenge you to wonder, where is the mouth on it? I'll give you like 5 seconds. Here it is, in the middle of the freaking legs. They don't have any teeth whatsoever, so the only things that they're able to eat are the things that they're able to crush with their legs. And you see in the middle of his body, it's just straight spikes. They eat clams, crustacean, worms, and sometimes animal and algae, depending on if they're able to get their hands on it. My favorite fact about a horseshoe crab is that it has guaranteed impacted your life. So because they're at the bottom of the ocean floor constantly, things are attacking them like algae, bacteria. Whenever the bacteria gets into their blood will attack this and clot it up so that it doesn't spread throughout the body of the horseshoe crab. Now, humans have taken it to the point where they're just mass farming this blood. Their blood is a bright blue substance that's harvested in mass numbers. They put it in medicine. It's even in implants, like breast implants. Now, the saving grace of these things is that they can lay up to 4,000 eggs at a time. On top of that, they lay 20 clusters of eggs every year, so that's 80,000 eggs per horseshoe crab. Thousands of birds migrate just to eat the eggs of this thing because they're so high in fat and protein. They're born the size of a number 2 pencil eraser. However, they do not have a larval state like a lot of other crustaceans. The last fact I have before cracking this thing open and eating it is that they're actually not true crabs, despite the name horseshoe crab. They're more closely related to spiders and scorpions than any crustacean. The biggest conflict I'm facing right now is that a horseshoe crab is poisonous. If you eat it, you could get very sick and even die. The only part you're supposed to eat is the roe. You need to be a very skilled fillet master to do this. How I learned is I've been watching a YouTube video for the last hour in Thai. Think I'm gonna be able to do that without poisoning myself? I don't know what he's saying, okay? I just see what he's doing and I'm gonna try my best. The moment of truth. Am I gonna die? If I do this wrong, I'll probably go into anaphylactic shock, have to go to a hospital. The people won't be able to understand me. They'll give me ibuprofen. It'll make it worse. Long story short, we can't afford to mess up right now. Oh, look, the roe is coming out. That's crazy. It's difficult to fillet for sure. It's not like you're filleting a piece of meat or anything. It's not just gonna cut right through. You're cutting through like cartilage, it kind of feels like. Some of the eggs are popping out. That's actually wild. Ow! Ow! Its anchor got me. Its anchor, I'm bleeding. I need something. Let me wrap this real fast. Ow, bro. I just got stabbed by these freaking things. The good part about it is that once you get into the middle, it's like a little bit softer. See the eggs like slowly popping out of this thing. After the body, you need to cut where the underside of the belly is. Moment of truth. Let's see how I did this. Oh, dude, that's for sure rotten. Low key, that yellow stuff looks gas. It's like the butter that you find in crab. Oh, rancid. That is not edible. This is what the YouTube video that I'm looking at, like it's like a bright yellow. This is what mine looks like. I'm confident that the roe is not poisonous, okay? I'm pretty sure I could eat it. Because the horseshoe crab has such a hard shell and is in the shape of a pan, I'm not even gonna use a pan. I'm just gonna use it over an open flame. Oh my God, it's smoking. When cooking this thing, it's okay if the meat burns because that's not what you're eating. Essentially, you are almost guaranteed to burn the meat, and what's gonna be cooking to perfection is the roe. Oh my God. What if it just exploded onto us? Oh, it smells so bad. It smells like rotten eggs. We need to open some doors or something.
20 minutes later.
Now we're gonna scoop all of the roe out of the horseshoe crab. Oh, it smells so terrible. Oh, just the smoke in my mouth tastes disgusting. If you're wondering, this is what the shell looks like after it's been cooked. It's completely charred. I would argue that this is the most disgusting thing I've ever had to eat. I'm gonna force myself through this so I could tell you guys what it tastes like. The eggs that are cooked have a consistency that's kind of firm. Kind of like how you would taste a hard-boiled egg. I'm confident that this is rotten. It's leaking out a very seafood-esque liquid. If you get a horseshoe crab that is not rotten, season it good. I feel like this could be viable. The bottom part of this has some more yellow pieces, so I wanna see if this is any better. The bottom just tasted rotten, but like way more burnt.
I know that there's an exotic seafood that tastes better than that. So now I'm heading to an Asian seafood market to find our next meal. This is an Asian king crab. They've got a bite force of over 430 pounds and are not to be messed with. And this is a man who loves to eat king crabs.
We just got here and one of the vendors say they have something special for us.
This market is located in Rawai Beach where vendors sell seafood by the thousands of pounds. Whether you're into live lobsters or horseshoe crabs, everything has a price.
How much does this cost per kilo?
1 kilo, 800 baht.
1 kilo is 800 baht. What's happening right now is they decide the price of seafood by the kilogram here. So what he's gonna do is I'm gonna pick out some seafood, he's gonna put it on the scale, we're gonna see what it weighs and get a price like that. So we're going with a king crab, and I see a couple other ones too right over here. So put her on the scale.
This one, 1 is 3.
1.3? You want 10,040? Or excuse me, 1,040? Okay, so I want to buy these. A little bit better of a price though.
Okay, 10,000 baht.
Oh wait, no, I keep. How about this? Oh, come on, bro. Bro, there's no shot that those 3 crabs are worth 1,000 baht.
Everything no haircut, just one hair.
Oh, you're saying
650 baht, just some brook hair.
So what he's saying right now is that he's the only vendor with this kind of crab. So he believes that he should be compensated more for it.
Oh, finish.
850. He offered me 850 just now. What did we start at? 1050. He gave me 20% off. All right, that's fair. He's filling it with water right now so that the crabs are able to stay alive once they're in the cooler. Fuck. Oh my God, dude. Fuck. He got me good. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just in pain. Here, just take 1,000. We're good. No change. I got pinched. Really bad, I know. I need a taxi drive though.
Yes.
You can help me with that? Soy na yawan?
Na yawan, yes.
Yeah. How much?
300.
Cool, let's do it. My negotiation tactics leave when I'm in pain. I'm just, whatever you want, take it. You're the best, my friend. Thank you so much. Here you are. Yeah, that's perfect, right there. There you go. You're good. No change. I'm gonna enjoy cooking these, you have no idea. Oh, you little fucker, eh? I fucking hate that crab, man. Look at him. I need to get the rest of the crabs onto this cutting board because this one was very intimidating to get. Stop. These crabs are nuts, dude. Now that we've figured out how to safely handle these guys, all right, by putting them upside down, we're gonna cut off all the rubber bands because I believe in fair fights. Oh my God, it almost just happened again. The reason the crab was able to pinch me earlier is because I grabbed him down here, but these crabs are very flexible. I think this claw reached back and like pinched my hand so bad, dude. It feels like I just put it into a car door and someone slammed it as hard as they could. We're gonna be cooking this in a steamer. I personally like it better than boiling my crustaceans. You fill this with like 3 inches of water. Now you're gonna salt the water. Your water should be saltier than the ocean. Once you have a good steam going, we're gonna go ahead and put in our finger bandits. Wow, man, that's a big crab. It's actually insane.
A few moments later.
Timer's up. It's time to go get the crabs. Wow, they actually turned extremely orange. It kind of looks like they have a lot of algae on them. Oh, that's the big one. My finger still hurts so bad. I can't even use my hand. I'm about to eat the claw that pinched me earlier. That's what I've been looking forward to. I know who it was. This big papa right here. I'm having a flashback to when he pinched me. This is gonna taste great. Wow.
Well, that was delicious and gets me even more excited for what I'm cooking at the end of this video. But next, we're going back to my home state to cook and eat an apex predator.
Right in front of us is a 10-foot Burmese python. Now, these guys are apex predators in the Everglades. Reason being, there's nothing that can eat them. They are literally bigger than everything in their ecosystem. They're known for constricting their prey. They're made of pure muscle. You can see on their back, they have these bulging muscles that come out. They also have backwards angled teeth, blend in extremely well to their environment. The only way to control this species is for people like us to cook them and eat them.
Bernard is a southern chef that's been getting hundreds of millions of views online for his fried chicken, his fried alligator, and now he's gonna teach us how to deep fry this python.
The first step, because this is a messy process, is you have to get your gloves on. Respectfully, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to cooking.
I'm about to show you. It's so simple.
Yeah!
I'm about to just spread mustard on the whole thing.
Mustard?
Yes.
Okay.
It just help it bind.
I'm gonna be real, I hate mustard. So how strong is this mustard?
You're not gonna taste it down one bit. So the reason you wanna mustard your meat down is because mustard is a great binder for your meat. You kind of want your seasons to kind of stick on there. You kind of want the cake on there. It really gets the season to really stick to the meat.
So what would you say makes like a southern cook? What makes your food southern?
I guess it makes me a southern cook because I'm in the South. I always start with some all-purpose season because you got a little bit of everything and you got a little salt in there, you got a little pepper in there. We got a little Sajon for a little color. It's gonna get a snake a nice red pop. Pass me that Sajon, it's on the very end.
Oh, this one?
Very, very end, watch this.
Here you go.
The snake is about to change from yellow to orange.
Wow, wow. Dude, it kind of just looks like a giant hot Cheeto.
It's gonna give us a crazy color.
Can I get to rubbing or what?
Yeah, you can rub it.
You can see that the seasoning is slowly like dissolving into the snake. You want to get a super close-up shot? Oh my God, I just rubbed my nose and that shit's spicy.
Grab a napkin if you need one.
Bro.
Wow, man, look at that.
Look at that color change.
Total transformation, yeah.
So go down the line, pass me the next seasoning.
All right. So right here?
Yeah, it's fine.
We're hitting it with the lemon pepper right now.
Lemon pepper.
I am so excited right now. This is gonna be insane. When I cook a python, it never comes out good. I don't know why, so I'm happy I have him here. I mean, look at it, bro. It used to be white. This is what the snake used to look like, and this is what it looks like now. You'd be crazy to say this isn't a giant transformation.
Grab that seasonal. You can grab it any way you want. I'm gonna go on heavy with this. We got our salt in here. We got our garlic. We got our onion powder. We got a little pepper in here.
One of the most difficult things to get right with the snake is how tender it is. These snakes are essentially pure muscle. There's not a single piece of fat on the snake's body. Because of that, the meat is super, super tough.
If you're eating it for pleasure,
Don't.
you wanna show how we tenderize it?
Luckily, yeah.
Let's
luckily.
show 'em.
Let's do it. All right. Ow, bro. Ow. Bro, the spine of the snake is no joke.
Next seasoning, it's a salt-free lemon pepper rub. It's not gonna add too much more salt to it. It's not as fine, so you're really gonna see the seasoning on there. Now this is my favorite, Old Bay seasoning. I put it on everything, and it also adds a nice color.
This is really, really nice.
The next steps of the process include burning down oak and hickory so that we're able to smoke the snake on a grill. You also need to put coals in there so that the temperature gets hot enough for the snake to actually cook.
So we're grilling this snake, first before frying it because we want to get a little color to it first.
Okay.
And along with the color, we're helping the snake get up the temperature. So when we drop it in the deep fryer, it won't take as long to cook. It may only be in the fryer for 10 minutes versus without smoking it or grilling it, it may take about 20-30 minutes.
Bernard, this is your show, man. Show them how it's done.
All right, let's do it. Watch this. Look at that right there.
Oh, wow.
As soon as it hit the grease, you want it rolling.
The top of it is entirely exposed, AKA it's not getting fried, AKA we're not getting what we need. So what we're gonna do is start basting the snake with a spoon. That's gonna make it so that every part of it gets fried equally and it's good to go. His head is fully fried right now, I see it. No way. Bro, look at its head. Its head is literally crusted. Like, it's also awesome when it's at this angle because you can see right into the snake. You see that it's gutted.
So what we about to do, we about to let my buddy Nick fillet some of this meat off here.
I like filleting snakes.
And we're gonna put some hot sauce with it, and we gonna eat it.
All right, let's get it. That's wild. I am always the one that's eating the snakes on my own. I've never had anyone else cook me a snake. I'm actually pretty excited. How does it taste? How does this python taste? It's seasoned to perfection, fried it like a funnel cake. You think it's gonna be good?
Let's see.
Oh man, I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
We can do a big piece.
Oh yeah, man, we're going big here. Wow, it's crazy too. Like,
Good luck.
oh man, that's tough. That's
Good
gonna
luck.
be. That is not tender at all.
You already knew that.
I'm gonna share my piece with Bernard. It's only right that we taste it at the same exact time.
All right.
Cheers. Let's see how good of
Moment
a
of
cook you
truth.
are, eh?
Let's see.
Why is that amazing? Why is it actually?
It's actually good
It's not. It's tender.
It's actually good.
I'm confused. I'm really We're the only.
It's actually tender.
Why? Why is it? Why? Dude, that's delicious. That is delicious. Oh my goodness. Maybe it was just that section. Maybe the rest of the snake is tough.
No, I hope not.
Bring it in. Come here.
I'm not sure that it can get better than that. But our next animal is one of the most beautiful creatures I have ever seen.
This is a giant painted crayfish right here. This species has many different names because of the different colors that it has. So here in the Asian countries, right now I'm in Vietnam, it's called a flower lobster. But if you go to Australia, they call all lobster species crayfish. This is technically a giant crayfish. When you're looking at it, you see that it has velvet on the tip of its antennas. It has blue all throughout it. It kind of looks like a zebra on its legs. This thing is pushing 3 kilograms, or if you're from the Western world, about 6 pounds almost. There's gonna be 3 parts to this video. First, we're gonna butcher this crayfish up. After that, we're gonna cook it. And then lastly, we're gonna give it a taste test. To butcher this guy, we're gonna go ahead and flip him upside down. So I'm not gonna execute this lobster on camera because it's pretty graphic, but I want you guys to learn how to do it so that if you are ever cooking a lobster, you know how to do it humanely. Get a super sharp knife, just like this, and you're gonna put it right in the center of their body. You're gonna hit it down, and then after that, you're gonna cut up just like this. If you guys want to be sure on how to do it, you're pretty much just cutting directly through his head like this. If you were to just twist this lobster open like so, you would actually miss a lot of the tail meat because it's still connected to the body. So what you're gonna do is take a knife and you're gonna cut around so that all of the tail meat is fully disconnected, the stuff that you want to get. And now when you twist like this, you're gonna get all the meat inside of the head. And I mean, you see that the tail is massive. It's bigger than my entire face. My favorite part of any crustacean is always the liver that's in the middle of the head. I would hate to throw it out. If you were to throw this out, my heart would just break. So what we're gonna do is take a spoon, make sure it's big and long. You're just gonna go ahead and scoop the liver out and all of its insides out. Now you might think to yourself, okay, now you're done with the head. You'd be wrong. The knuckles right here have a significant amount of meat in them. So we're actually gonna pull them off and cook those as well. Ow. Ow. They have spikes all over their freaking antennas, like really, really sharp spikes. So we're gonna go ahead and cut into his knuckle. Take a paper towel and you're gonna twist. And then after you have this, you could actually remove the antenna part of it. Now you have a perfect knuckle. Do the same to the other side. This is everything that we're gonna be cooking. The first thing I wanna do is cut this lobster tail in half. Obviously it's massive, but we wanna make it so that as we're cooking it, the heat actually touches the meat. We're gonna flip it upside down. Go ahead and flip it. This is what it looks like once it's completely cut. The poop chute is right there. This is where all of the feces of the crayfish is gonna be. Give it a little cut. At this point, you throw this out. There are 2 lobster species in the world that I really like as sashimi. This is one of them. Absolutely gas. So what we're gonna do is take a little piece. Look at that, perfect meat. That is so good. Now we're gonna throw some seasonings on it. We only really need 3. Salt, pepper, and chili powder. I wasn't able to find normal salt anywhere, so I got lime leaf pepper salt. Season it generously because we're not gonna be able to season the other side of the lobster tail since it's gonna be cooked in the shell. Now we're gonna go in with the pepper. We're gonna get a second cutting board, take an onion. Whoa, I'm gonna start to cry. Okay, beautiful. Now we have our nice diced up onion. Get a clove of garlic. Put your knife on top of the clove of garlic and there we go. First thing you're gonna do is put a big old dollop of butter in your pan. Once your butter is melted, you're gonna put in all of your other vegetables. Spread your vegetables around in the butter so that it starts to simmer. You're waiting for your vegetables and your butter to start browning. Up next, we're gonna go in for the lobster. The first thing you're gonna do is put the meat side down. That way you get a nice cook on it. Boom, and then put the knuckles in on the side. So you wanna make sure that it's at a low heat because a lot of seafood and lobster cooks pretty fast. I'm keeping it at 5 out of 10. When someone asks how fresh I like my seafood, this is the standard, all right? It has to be kicking in the pan. So right now you see how the bottom of the lobster is really white, that means it's like pretty much ready to be flipped. Get your favorite tongs. Go ahead and give it a nice flip. That looks so good. Let's go ahead and flip all of the knuckles as well. This might be a power move. I'm kind of improvising at this point. Putting little patches of butter on top of the lobster so that it melts into it. I'm gonna let it sit and steam in the butter here for a while because I really want the shell to become a vibrant red. Wow. This lobster, it speaks for itself right now. The liver and stuff was just for the flavoring as it evaporated. And on top of that, a lot of the garlic and onion is really burnt. A lot of people would actually like this, but I'm not gonna eat this. So I'm just gonna leave this in the pan. If I did this right, which I hope I did, put your fork at the base of the tail. Look at that. And do the same thing to the other side. People always forget about the knuckles, bro. It's actually a crazy amount of meat in here. For the record, this is all the meat that I was able to get out of the knuckles. It's essentially like entire king crab legs. Like, that's a lot of meat. I'm seeing right now, it's perfectly cooked. That's a good sign. Wow.
Now that we've had a few successful dishes, it's time to properly prepare and cook 3 giant Maine lobsters. And hopefully, successfully eat them too.
The one in my hands is exactly 10 pounds, and then one on either side is about 8 pounds. So it's pretty much me versus 28 pounds of lobster. I'm a believer in fair fights, and I don't think it's fair if they have all of these rubber bands on their claws. So you guys understand what I'm dealing with here. Each of these crabs have a pincher and a crusher claw. When you're looking at the crusher claw, you're gonna be able to identify it because it's the much meatier, bigger claw. Look at these 2 claws. I'll give you a minute to decide which one is the pincher and which one is the crusher. This is the crusher claw, and you can tell because all along his claw, he has a lot of dull, very hard calluses built up. Whereas with the pincher claw, you can see all these little spiky areas that are mainly used for cutting and dismembering prey. Now, you probably can't tell the difference between all 3 of these lobsters, but they actually all have inconsistencies between them. For instance, if you look at this lobster on the right, he's experiencing shell rot. Shell rot is when the lobster is no longer able to molt, and because of that, this lobster's life cycle is more than likely over. Over time, his entire shell will begin to rot, and he will become very uncomfortable. This lobster is really trying to get me right now, and all of their pinchers are sensor activated, so check this out. He's looking at me. He can see that my hand is not in there. If you look at the lobster on the left, this is more than likely the healthiest lobster out of the bunch. He has beautiful color, he's been moving non-stop. There's really no concerns about this thing. I'm confident this lobster could live years in the wild. And the coolest part about the guy in the middle is that he's literally 10 pounds. It's not often that you find a lobster this big. The reason why is because in Maine, they protect lobsters after they get a certain size. So I can almost guarantee all 3 of these lobsters were caught in Canada. Reason being because Canada does not have the same regulations as Maine. So if you ever find a really big lobster, just know it probably came from Canada. Something else that's very interesting is that for every pound, a lobster is about 7 years old. So this lobster right in my hand is coming in just over 70 years old. Each of these lobsters are 8, so they're 56 just on this table alone. I have 182 years of lobster experience. You might notice I'm never able to fit my seafood in the pots that I cook them in. And it's understandable. These are the size pots that I own. I mean, who is able to fit any kind of lobster in them? Luckily, I've prepared for this exact scenario. I got 3 of the biggest pots I could find. There are over 52 quarts of water able to be held in these things, so I'm assuming I'm gonna be able to fit them. If I can't fit my lobsters in these 3 pots, I lose. Okay, that's the challenge. It's on. It's go time right now. Now, the way I plan to deal with these lobsters is from smallest to largest. Something kind of unfortunate that I'm realizing is I think this lobster may have been illegally kept, and I'll explain why. If you come here down to his tail, you see a little notch right over here. Now, I know up in Maine, they notch their lobsters, signifying that it is a breeder. You're not allowed to keep them. This is how they keep the population safe and healthy. Seeing as to how his tail is notched, I think it is actually a breeder, but we're in Hawaii, you know? It's past the point of saving this lobster. At this point, all we could do is enjoy its meat. This is also the one that's starting to experience shell rot, so being put out of his misery might actually kind of help him a little bit. Shell rot does not affect the flavor. Shell rot really just makes it so that lobster is not able to molt. And when it's not able to molt, slowly all of the hinges on him, all the things that make it so that he can move his little elbows and whatnot, he won't be able to move. And this gets so severe to the point where he can't even reach for food. He's not gonna be able to crawl, and eventually they kind of just get eaten. We'll make it an even more fair fight. There you go. What I'm doing is finding the bulb of his head right here, put the knife right on the bulb of his head, and then you just go. I feel like I'm gonna win this challenge. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Something tells me I'm gonna win this. Now, this lobster is probably my favorite out of the bunch, and the reason why is because he's so lively. Whenever you're storing these in the fridge, you wanna make sure you put a damp paper towel over their head so that they're able to keep their gills moist. As long as their gills are moist, they're gonna be able to live a lot longer, and all night, this guy was like flopping around in my fridge. I'll show you an example. This paper towel, I'm putting fresh water on it. That's not from pain. What's happening is he feels air because his gills are finally getting a little bit wet, and that's what's giving him the courage to actually move. Come here, let's look at his genitals. You could tell this lobster is a male because it has these two things. If it were a female, it wouldn't have these two things. Looking at his tail, I see there are no notches on it. It's definitely a male, definitely a legal lobster. Right in the bulb of his head, knife on the center. Now it's Big Bertha's turn. I'm a little bit nervous because I've never cooked a lobster this big in my life. I'm very curious if it's gonna bend my knife or not. We're gonna see. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably definitely most excited about this 10-pound one. There's an understanding that smaller lobsters taste better. And because of that, people will always say, don't get the big lobsters. The 1 to 3 pound lobsters are the best. You know, guys, I'm a seafood expert, all right? I know whether this is true or not, and it's true, okay? The smaller lobsters are way, way better. When you get them this big, the meat gets really tough. Honestly, this is a nightmare to handle. The only reason I'm doing it is for a video, but like, if this were just for me, it would be a lot smaller. But where I get excited about it is like, it's genuinely a passion of mine to just handle sea creatures. I love doing this stuff. So to see a 70-year-old lobster, not even just see a 70-year-old lobster, to be able to eat a 70-year-old lobster, this is my passion, you know? I don't even care how it tastes. It's really just to be able to say I did it. This is freaking awesome, guys. Look at this thing. Bro, I'm living my dream right now. I imagine being a lobster when you're this big is also super inconvenient because sometimes like his arm will drop and it'll just pull his whole body. Like it's almost like he's not strong enough to control his body. Look at this. That looks so uncomfortable, doesn't it? Thank you, my friend. Fatality. In front of each of these pots is their respective lobsters that will be going inside. If you notice, the big 20-quart pot is gonna be responsible for holding the 10-pound lobster. Each of these 16-quart pots will be responsible for holding the 8-pound lobsters. I'm actually so proud of myself, guys. I don't think I've ever been able to successfully fit a lobster in a pot, but I don't know. I have a good feeling about this one. Moment of freaking truth. Is the pot big enough? No way. Guys, that has never happened. I have never been able, I'm so excited right now. Fill all your pots with water. Now that your water is at a rolling boil, you're gonna go ahead and put your lobsters into them. Now there's gonna be a little bit of finesse to this, okay? Usually you boil a lobster for 8 minutes if it's 1 pound. Calculations are not so clear when you're cooking a 10-pound lobster. It's almost as if no one's ever done it. The internet says to do 8 minutes for the first pound and then 4 minutes for every pound after that. So with that math, this 10-pound lobster should be about 44 minutes in the boiler. Ow, why would I do that? Each of these smaller lobsters are about 8 pounds. So with that math, it comes out to about 36 minutes being boiled. This is my favorite lobster. He's so colorful, man. I mean, look at this guy. He's just beautiful. Such a vivid orange on his claws. Let's see what color they are when they come out. Oh! No one really knows that lobsters and most crustaceans bleed, but it's not red like you would expect. It's this like gooey, gummy feeling. Look, that's lobster blood right there. I did not like that one. It's been about 15 minutes and it looks like we ran into our first problem. Although I have big enough pots for all of these lobsters. I did not take into accountability that my stove might not be big enough. I'm sitting here with all these freaking pots trying to boil and only one of them is boiling, the middle burner. These two are not boiling at all. They are literally chilling. This lobster is the exact same color as when I put it in, so I'm kind of stressing right now. This might be how I lose this challenge right here, so we gotta figure this out. This one just started like a rolling boil, very slow, but this 10-pounder, we got an issue. I'm not gonna lie, I'm freaking out right now. I'm so competitive. I refuse to be the guy that loses to 3 main lobsters. What do I look like to you? The 2 smaller lobsters are done. It's time to take them out. They actually smell so good. When most crustaceans are cooked, they emit a cooked odor. You can usually smell it. These are definitely ready. Ow! Ah, it's so hot. Wow, but look at that lobster, huh? But he kind of looks burnt, right? Why is he black like this? On his tail, on his, like all over him, he's like completely, such a weird color. Bro, look at the color. Oh no, a claw ripped off. That is perfectly cooked. Hell of a crusher claw, huh? That's ridiculous. We are 2/3 of the way to completing this challenge. The only way for an upset to happen is if this 10-pound lobster somehow messes up. After I got these 2 lobsters out, this pot finally started boiling, so I think I'm gonna give it like 10 to 20 minutes. Big boy, 10-pounder, man, I'm excited. Bro, this is so hot. It's burning my hand. This has to be 4 or 5 pounds alone, just the claw. Good question for the comments. Just for that massive crusher claw, what would you pay for that at a restaurant? I wanna know, leave a comment. This 10-pound lobster is gonna be for a mukbang, so we're gonna take this out. These 2, we're doing something very special with. We're gonna make a special dish, but first we have to deshell them. How's that, huh? Oh, let's go. Pure claw, no tendon or anything. See all that white stuff? You're in for a treat if you see all that. Moment of truth right now. This is actually such a bitch. Can I break this thing in 2? Oh, wow. This one was no match. So something people don't know about a lot of lobsters is that every lobster, every crustacean, they all have poop. You believe this shit? If you look at the poop sack, it literally has poop all throughout it, but hear me out, it's the best part. Okay, now this is my personal favorite, bro. That's that gas. That's that lobster butter right there. This green stuff, you'll catch me dead not eating this. Let's scoop as much out as we're able to. You know what, what are we playing with this thing for here, you know? That's what we're after, gang. Look at it. Wow. Oh my God. Okay, I need to have self-control in this moment right now and not eat all the green stuff, because wow. Yours should have a little bit of the green stuff.
Oh wow, so good.
It's so fire, right? Now that the first lobster is deshelled, are you curious about what we're cooking? No, I'm sitting here thinking, I see all this lobster butter, and I can't help but think if anyone's ever used it as like war paint. How we feeling about it, gang? Leave a comment. Imagine you're a lobster and you see me coming at you with this on my face. Can't forget the best part. Oh my God, we're done. Hell yeah. Crazy mess we have here. I mean, it's on the walls, it's on the stove, it's freaking on my face. This is what I looked like before we started filming this video, and this is what I look like afterwards. It's literally like, I feel gross, man. Every video, I always need to shower because I smell like a fish after.
I may look gross, but I feel great. This next animal was the hardest for me to get my hands on, and it's time to see if it was worth the effort.
We got our hands on an Alaskan king crab. You would not believe how hard it's been to get one of these, but we finally have it. King crabs are genuinely one of the most interesting ones out there. For one, they have spikes all over their body. So to ask if they have a defense mechanism is really pointless. Their legs, their claws, their face. If you grab this thing anywhere, you're almost guaranteed to bleed. The first line of defense being their shell is actually why their claws are practically vestigial. These claws do not hurt if you get pinched by them. As a matter of fact, they don't even have that pinching reflex that a lot of other crabs and lobsters do. See, he doesn't even care. I'll put my whole hand in there. Look, he's not pinching me. This claw, I don't know if I want to test it with. All right, yeah, we're not testing on this. Something else really cool about these things is that even though they're aquatic animals, they're able to live out of the water for a very long time. That's because they have gills, and just with the littlest bit of moisture, they're able to renew their oxygen, like completely breathing underwater practically. They usually last about 2 hours out of the water before their gills fail on them. Right after we bought this, we rushed it home. It's time to get to cooking. Now, the age-old problem on this channel, I don't have a pot big enough for the thing, but when have I ever? Something super funny is that every time I post an Alaskan king crab, people will comment and be like, that's not a king crab, the king crabs are maroon. The king crabs that are maroon are the Norwegian king crabs. It's from a completely different part of the world. This is an entirely different species. Something else really cool about these things is that they have little parasites all over them. I just don't think it would be right to eat the king crab and not eat the parasites. That's a parasite. Tastes like a mollusk of some sort, like a snail. Now, I personally don't believe these crustaceans feel pain for a multitude of reasons. You guys can come at me any way you want. If I'm a crab in my next life, I totally deserve it. One time I went to go euthanize a sea creature. When I went to go do it, I didn't know that this was like the densest sea creature that I've ever dealt with in my entire life. I went to go crack it and it like totally bent my knife. Yeah, that's from a slipper lobsters. Ah! I'm sorry. I need to be fast. Oh! I feel like I just got hit by a freaking water gun. That was wild. Can we get a replay on that? That was a lot of water in my mouth. People always think that crustaceans don't have blood. This is a common misconception. This is their blood. It's like this clear, gooey kind of substance. Can't even pick it up. I'm sure you guys see it. Simple solution when your crab does not fit in the pot. Just put them upside down. It still doesn't fit, okay? Code red, big issue. We got a problem. Ow, it's so freaking spiky everywhere. You guys see how much I'm sweating right now? Ow! So sharp, these freaking king crabs. That's a lot of blood. I have no shame in saying I have the lowest pain tolerance out of anyone I know. Okay, let's see, does it fit? I would argue that this fits. While we're waiting for the water to boil, it's so hot in that kitchen, there's no AC. So every time, life hack, I get a little bit of ice. You get into a nice shady area, put your feet in the water, hold this ice right here on your artery. I don't know if it's an artery or it's just like a main vein or what it is. Whatever it is, it pumps blood throughout the rest of your body. So if you put ice on it, your body is gonna cool down a lot faster. Very helpful. It's the only way I don't sweat throughout my entire video is taking these breaks in between filming. Now that the water is boiling, we have the perfect atmosphere to cook this Alaskan king crab. Most exciting part about these guys is that they turn a very like vivid bright orange after you cook them. Moment of truth, did we put enough water in the pot is the real question. You're only putting these king crab legs in the boiling water for 6 to 10 minutes. And usually when you're cooking a king crab, it'll start to emit this like odor, and that's how you know it's cooked. Okay, all the legs fit, but now it's the moment of truth. Honestly, bro, this is pretty solid. The water has filled the carapace. This bottom part we don't eat. We eat the green stuff at the top of his head. I feel confident about the way that this is packed in this pot. You guys see it? Oh, Nick, how's your skin always so clear? So this is purely a shot of king crab blood. It's not bad. It tastes like the ocean, honestly, but definitely not like salt water. Like there's a little bit more consistency. It tastes like cum, okay? That's what it tastes like. I just moved the cutting board and apparently this is where all the crab blood went. This is so interesting. All right, I gotta clean this, it's kind of gross. Once your king crab is fully boiled, it's been about 6 to 10 minutes in here, this hot. All there is to do now is take it out of the pot. Start off with the head. She's a little wet, it's all good. Now this is my favorite part about cooking every king crab, is designing a little fortress around its head before I eat it. Look at that. Isn't that just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life? Now, a lot of people wonder, Nick, why did they call it a king crab? What is so great about this thing? I'm gonna show you why. It's the best tasting crab on the planet, but that is not the reason. The real reason, that is why they call it a king crab, my best friends. Look at this. Someone else taste this. I can't be the only one.
So delicious.
Oh, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm really full. You wanna tag in, bro?
If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like it, drop a comment. I'm reading your guys' comments every video and catering the content to whatever you guys say you want to see. Gerson, how many people commented about the king crab?
Thousands.
1,000. Here we are, king crab. Let me know what you guys want me to do next. I'm thinking 3 king crabs at once. But maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe YouTube isn't ready for it, okay? Are you guys? I don't know. Either way, subscribe if you want to see it.